All right, people, I think we're back, and I think you can hear us now. And, technology is wonderful when it works, but I think we got it. And for those of you who are reconnecting, we'll give you guys just a second here to hop back in the chat rooms here on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Yellow Cab, Brown Eye. I'm actually making up platforms at this particular point, but just wanted to welcome you guys in. And we are, guys, now, if I'm not mistaken, where we last spoke, we were on the Philadelphia 76ers game. Is that correct, guys? Is that about right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And yes, that's right.
All right. And, Tony, you strapped
and Ben Simmons is going to Ben Simmons is going to challenge T. Young.
T. Young. All right. So we're good there. So, Ski, you just hang out in that chat room over there on YouTube. Make sure that they're all back in there and they're cozy, comfy, ready to rock. Lord knows we don't want to miss any of Brantley's picks. So let's move on to the next game, and I will start with Rob Vino, sportsmemo.com.
Yes, sir.
Give me Golden State and Boston here. Boston coming off of that big win. Let us not forget there against Miami, right? Nobody expected them to win. They won on the road. They're back home. But seems a lot of people continue to pound them, though. 12.5 up to 13.5, 222 to 223.5 now on the total. I don't know. Are we expecting too much from a Celtics team that, quite honestly, has been hot and cold now over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I tell you, Joe, I'm going to attack this game from the total standpoint, which I see now at 224, and I have a hard time understanding the movement toward the over in this game. Golden State has been a little bit better of an over team as of late, but there's some numbers that would suggest that in this range, it's probably a little bit too high for Golden State to get to. For starters, Golden State shot 46% from the floor only one time in their last 13 games. They've been lousy shooting. The defense hasn't been great, so that's helped out a little bit to get some overs. You might say, well, Rob, that probably includes a lot of the time when D'Angelo Russell was out. So if you just narrow in to the 8 games, since D'Angelo Russell has come back into that lineup, they've shot 42.5% or less in 3 of their last 4. They've shot under 46% in 7 of the 8 games Russell's been present for. They go over numbers like we saw the other night, 214.5, 215, 213. We're going about 10 points higher here. And Boston, as of late, has taken on the Brad Stevens type of defense that we know them for. 4-0 under in their last 4 games. Those last 4 games, 210, 207, 214, 231 against New Orleans. But New Orleans an extremely explosive team. For me, I think that this game stays under. I think Boston is showing a little bit of defensive capability lately. I don't see Golden State shooting the ball very well. And, we'll see about Jason Tatum. You guys fill me in. Last I looked, he was still questionable. I don't know if he goes here or not. Maybe they save him for Saturday. But for me, I just think this total's going the wrong way. 224, probably a bit too high.
224. All right, Tony Finn, talk to us. Which way?
I gave a free play out on this exact game and exact play that Rob just outlined. It's an absolute. First off, Boston went down to Miami. That's a pretty tough act to follow, isn't it? They go down to Miami. They beat Miami they beat the Heat in Miami and come under that number. I think they did. It was a pretty low-scoring game, right? And a few of the starters, I think Brown might have played 41 minutes. There was a couple guys that played 40. I think that a smart coach, and I consider Stevens a smart coach, he's going to spread some minutes out. He's not going to play at pace. And an under is a perfectly logical and high probability play tonight. I agree with you, Rob.
Going there. How about it, Ski? Where you landing on this one? GS hanging out in Boston here tonight.
I don't really love the total. So, I don't love the game at all, honestly. But I just don't really want to step in front of Boston the way that they're playing.
Right.
Without Tatum, they can have players missing. They're still running over everybody. They're better. No Cantor. It hasn't mattered. They've still been rolling right along. So 4-1 against the spread. Their last 5. We know Boston is better at the house. I would be picking Boston or pass. I know that the totals went under their last 8 games against each other, so just Boston for me.
Yeah, the underdog is interesting, and again, keep in mind these two teams were in different trajectories here over the last couple of years, but 28-9-1 against the number the underdog is in the last 38 times these teams have met. The road team 9-3-1 against the number in the last 13. It just feels like a lot of points to me, man. I just don't. I do not trust Boston, and I'm with you, Ski. I don't trust them in any way, shape, or form. So I might look Golden State here. Give me those 13.5, maybe even 14 by the time tip-off happens there. I got no problem riding with Shrek, so we'll see how that goes. How about Sacramento taking on the Clippers now? Of course, it's been a crazy week. Clippers, their game against the Lakers was, in fact, canceled on Tuesday night, so they played Sunday night. They were one of the teams that was on the card Sunday when the news came down about Kobe. So they are. This is their first game back in action at home, taking on the Kings on the the back end here of a back-to-back. Guys, we don't need to tell you how bad Sacramento is. We all know it. We live it here, Ski. So I'll start with you, man. Back end of the Kings hosted OKC last night. That didn't work out good. Now you got a Clippers team come in. They're going to be rested. What are we thinking? Are we back to our Clippers first half here? What are you thinking?
Well, I think Paul George comes back tonight.
Yep.
And getting a player back, you never know in that first game. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right, Joe?
Yeah,
Clippers first half, I would look more towards the total. I think Sacramento plays better when they play faster. They went over 8 of their last 9 games. Paul George needs more points. He's a defensive player as well, but in general, when he's not on the court, more Clipper games go under. When he's on the court, he's going to give you some more points. So I like the over.
You're taking the over in this one. All right, over 225, 220.
I don't think Tony agrees.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it opened up at 228, Tony. It's been bet down. I got 225s, 226. Where are you lying on this game here? Is it Clippers or not?
Well, yeah, it's Clippers or not. I wasn't that face wasn't for Ski, although it is lots of times that face for Ski, but not this time. No, I would say this, and that is this is just another game I didn't feel very comfortable pushing to my clients or pushing any of my money into, so I didn't do it. And there's, as Rob said, there's several reasons why, and
right.
and I want, like I said, at this point in time, and I want to apologize right now to some of my clients. I'll just tell them in tonight's recap that between now and the All-Star break, I'm going to be a little more careful. Last night there was we all saw it. There's some goofy stuff that happened, and I'd like to avoid that.
What about it, Rob? Talk to us. Where are you leaning on this one?
Yeah, I think I find this probably the most difficult game to come to a conclusion on tonight, Joe, partially because of the numbers that are attached. Not only do you get Paul George back, but you're going to get Patrick Beverley back. Everybody's going to be healthy for the Clippers here in this game. So not only does George bring defense, Beverley brings defense as well. The Kings, I get the loss last night because I released at 220.5 in that game, Oklahoma City and Sacramento, but the game did close at 219.5, so it goes down as an over for the Sacramento Kings, which makes them 8-1 against the spread. You could have won both ways in that contest. It's hard to trust them shooting-wise right now, Joe, but I do trust their pace. Back to what Ski said earlier, they're going to go quick. It doesn't mean they shoot better. And it's the 3rd and 4 nights. I think what you said right off the bat is probably the main cog here. 3rd and 4 nights against a rested LA Clippers team. If I had to do something, I'd probably be with the show's theme of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And just play Clippers first half. I think they might come out extremely strong here in this contest. And I don't know what Sacramento has left 3rd and 4 nights. So probably leave it to that. First half Clippers.
We're being told -8 planked woodworking, along with Anthony in the chat room telling us that -8 on the first half. But guys, I would not worry. I wouldn't worry. I think they come out on fire, Ski. I really do. I think they come out, light them up here in the first half, and get the ball rolling. I mean, first game in Staples, right, since the tragedy. So something tells me, and this is where we started off the show talking about that extra juice, that extra variance coming in here, guys, with, who's going to bring it. Would it surprise anybody if they went in at half up 20? Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, it wouldn't surprise me. And Sacramento, they might start out a little slow coming on that second of a back-to-back.
Yeah, especially getting their asses handed to them by OKC last night. So quality play, by the way, all around the room there. All right, so we're all in agreement there. It's let's expect the Clippers to do what the Clippers are going to do, which is smoke and make this game over before it starts, which leads us to Tony's favorite team, which is right now, guys, the game of the night as far as I'm concerned. But can we be all realistic? Because the Utah Jazz are this close to being on the Ski hell no list, okay? This close to being on the hell no list. All right?
Let's clarify. let's clarify who my favorite team is. Who's my favorite team?
The team you bet
What you
on.
bet on?
The team I
baby.
got money on, guys.
And
Come
you
on.
know who that was last night? The Jazz.
I
Kiss
wasn't
my
on
ass
the
with that
Jazz.
Jazz.
I wasn't on the
Ridiculous.
Jazz.
Horse crap.
I was on the over.
You were on the over and you loved the Jazz. Oh, the Jazz is going to win by double digits. The Jazz is going to Jazz this. All right, now they're on the road again, and here they are in Denver, which is just not an easy place to play. Denver, by the way, has really sucked last couple of games. Kind of a letdown situation for them. I thought they'd be so much better against Memphis than they were this week, but credit to Memphis. But at the same time, listen, Denver, I don't know what to tell you. You're home. You've done well. Opened up at 1.5. It's basically a pick'em game here, guys. 215.5 is the total. So, Rob, I'll ask you, Utah Jazz. How much do you trust? How much do you trust either of these teams right now?
Yeah, that's the main question, Joe. And I think, there's a lot of arguments against this. 3rd and 4 nights, they're not playing well. The last 2 for Utah have been a disaster. That game against Houston, where Houston played nobody and they got lit up at home, was a disaster. And you would think that Quinn Snyder and his team would, try and put it back together against San Antonio without LaMarcus Aldridge last night, and they couldn't even do that. They give up 127 more points. All that said, I still think they're the right side here tonight. Denver's injuries bug me. Gary Harris has come back for a couple of games now, but the other guys, and they're going to start feeling the effects of this sooner or later. They're 2-1 against the spread last 3. You talked about the game they played against Memphis where they didn't fare very well. The 2 before that they had covered. But when you're minus Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap, and Plumlee's a big part of this team's bench, so I just don't think that Denver has the guns right now, and I'm going to take a chance that Utah does straighten things out. Boy, they had been playing so well prior to this that maybe there was a little regression to be expected, but I don't know if it becomes 3 straight spread losses in a row. So give me Utah at the basically win the game price. I'll take my chances there.
It's funny. We got 702 Sports in the chat room. No Millsap, no Murray. And where the hell is Denver going to get their points, Tony Finn? I mean, it's we know they've struggled here a little bit. Murray has really been they miss him a lot. I mean, Jokic can only do so much. So at home would be the only place I would back him here at this point. No.
Who?
Denver.
Utah? Denver? No. Well, yeah. I won't back them tonight. And Rob covers some. Here's the deal: if you like the NBA basketball and you think it's kind of a soap opera, as I do. The new kid on the block in Memphis was mentored by. He's had some good mentors. He's had some good lessons, Mr. Taylor under Pop. And if you saw what Memphis did to Denver, what they did was they completely attacked the paint. Yep. They outscored Denver 79-22 in the paint, and they had twice as many fast break points. They attacked the paint. And they actually basically tried to wear those Denver guys down. And they're a little shorthanded. They did wear them down. Mm-hmm. They embarrassed them. Now, if you think Quinn Snyder's a good coach, which we could have a long discussion on, because I covered him every day when he was a Missouri Tiger college basketball coach. But long story short,
let's not name
and
drop.
A bad story,
What you want to talk about? Name drop about go ahead, keep going, just keep
about
going.
Missouri.
Go ahead, yeah, just I was I'm back in the day. I got it. Go ahead.
That's another. We're saving that for a book. Okay, now, you don't think listen? Denver is so susceptible right now. They shot 45 3-pointers in that Memphis game. 45 3-pointers, 50% of their points came from 3. That's not their game.
Right.
I don't care it's not their game. And it doesn't matter what Yoke does tonight. I'm telling you, this Utah team bounces back tonight, and they go to the Pepsi Center, which is a tough place to win. Altitude's not going to bother Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Utah getting a point and a half. The line speaks to this game. It's Utah or it's nothing.
So you going with the Jazz?
I'm going to go with Schneider.
There you go with the Jazz. I want to hear you say it. I'm going with the Jazz.
My favorite team is the Jazz tonight.
That's it, baby. Jazz it is. See, Ski, we knew this was happening in total time. I knew it. Now talk to me.
Please, give me a quote.
This has got Sawbuck written all over it, brother. I know where you're leaning. Talk to me, man.
I wish.
Oh.
Utah's been really good to us. I mean, it is their third game in 4 nights, but even as bad as they played, like in a couple of those games, down the board, offense, defense, rebounding, still better than Denver. Right. Missing Murray, Millsap, and blanking out on the other guy. But Plumlee, there you go.
Plumlee, listen, Plumlee's a big miss here. You're right. A huge miss. He is. And Millsap, too.
I just think that on the spread, I would rather take the Jazz because they've been playing well consistently, and I think they'll want to show up in this game after their past couple of performances. But I would probably look more towards the total. I mean, both of these teams really good defensive teams. Denver doesn't want to play at a fast pace. They only give up at about 104 points per game at the house. They went under 8-2 and won their last 11 games. I know it's been going over on the road for Utah, but third game in 4 nights, I think Denver can maybe hold it down tonight. So under 215 would probably be the best look for me.
Okay, under, and it just feels, guys, to your point, Tony, this feels like much like Rob, Oklahoma City felt last night. Like the line was kind of, Utah at this point, guys, 8-2 in the last 10 on the road, 3-1-1 against the number in the last 5 against winning teams. It just feels like there's some value here on the road team that the market at this point is just, they keep waiting for Denver, I guess, at home to do so. I don't know. I mean, their numbers are not great here over the last, 9-6 in the last 15? So why isn't this bigger number? Is it because of the scheduling, you think?
Rob, I'm going to jump in and ask you a question and you go. And that is, listen, part of the Pepsi Center domination by Denver is the fact that it's at altitude.
Right.
There's no advantage there with Utah. Agreed?
No, there's no advantage. No. I mean, obviously Utah plays at altitude. I think, this is the first time they've played all year, guys.
It's
strange for divisional rivals to play the first time here in late January. And this game happens to be for first place because they're both tied with the same exact record. So it's a big game on both ends. It just seems to me that right now, and Tony kind of pointed towards controlling the paint, Rudy Gobert against Jokic. It's not the easiest matchup for Jokic to go crazy against. You know what I mean? And without him, the remainder of the scoring, Jamal Murray's their best shot taker. Gary Harris can provide points, and I know Porter Jr.'s been good, but I could see Utah. They'd have to bounce back. I hope they can get out of this funk defensively that they've been in the last 2 games.
To your point, it's interesting. I got 72% of the tickets on the over, but only 36% of the money. It's flipped. With the under, 28% of the tickets, 64% of the money. So to your point, because it's just odd, 215.5. It's been stuck there all day long. So while people keep hammering the over, it's frozen, which means obviously we've got some big backers coming up on the under here. So maybe 215.5. Maybe the value play is there.
I definitely like that play a lot.
Yep, yeah, big time there, right? Did your fake friends validate the under in this game there, Tony?
They didn't. They're not showing up.
Okay, good. Very good. Okay. All right, so just to recap here, guys, in summary, we had a first half of this show. If you missed, we covered the first half of the games, and then technology took over, and it's great when it works. But we went over Raptors, Cleveland, Charlotte, Washington, Sixers, Atlanta in the other video, which you can see right here at the WagerTalk page. This one, of course, we've covered Celtics, Warriors, Kings, Clippers, and, of course, now the Utah Jazz and Denver. So when you put it all together, it's best bet time here, guys. So, Rob, I'll start with you, my man, over at sportsmemo.com. What's the best bet tonight, man? Where are you looking, brother?
I think I'd go back to the Charlotte-Washington game, Joe, and play that thing over the total. Like you said, when you stare at Washington and then you see 227 attached to them, it just seems like it's far too low, and we know why it is that low because Charlotte hasn't scored points. But I think they'll get caught up in the rat race here. They've got guards that can produce on that team and guys who in open floor can score. Washington games, the last 2 have gone over 280. Never mind 227. So right now, the way they're playing, I think Washington and Charlotte get over. I described the first 2 meetings, and hey, they got to 221 with Washington shooting as miserably from the floor as they could possibly shoot, or at least from 3-point range. I think that changes a little bit tonight, enough to get us to 228 and cash the ticket.
I love that. I'll throw out a couple of props here, guys, real quick, too, that look to have some value. Anybody opposed to Colin Sexton over 1.5 3-point shots here tonight?
Not me.
I
One
don't
and a
have a
half.
problem.
No.
All right.
No problem at all.
I don't got no. I mean, it's a decent number too. That's why I'm throwing it out there because it just feels like he's got at least 2 3-pointers in him in this game, does he not? So the price is minus 118, 119. So Colin Sexton seems to be one, and there seems to be a lot of fading of Glenn Robinson III here tonight, especially he's got 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Golden State at Boston. There seems to be a lot of people don't think Glenn Robinson can play the game twice, may not get to all those numbers. Are we fading him on Golden State tonight, guys?
Well, I'll jump in because I think the game's going to stay under the total.
Right.
And Golden State hasn't been that great of a shooting team, and Boston's playing really good defense. So I would probably lean that way, Joe, with Glenn Robinson III.
And how about Porter Jr.? Anybody a big fan of Michael Porter Jr.? 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists here tonight.
I don't like his matchup. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't know what his deal is, but you've referred to him in the past there, Rob. So I mean, he's
improved. Listen, that the court time he's gotten because of these injuries has helped. It's going to help Denver in the long run. I just don't like it tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, question, guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mike Conley just wrote out. Does it change you guys' opinion on the Jazz?
No, it makes me like the Jazz even more.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly correct. So I'm going to guess, Tony, your best bet. Are we going the Jazz?
No.
From now on, when you pick the Jazz, you got to give us Jazz hands. That's the rule of the show, all right? Every time Tony plays the Jazz, we need – no, Jazz hands, not fingers.
Oh, Jazz hands.
Bitch. All right, let's go. Let me see the Jazz hands.
I don't know what they are.
Oh, I can't with you. Well, you should. You were in vaudeville back in the 20s, so let's go here.
I owned vaudeville.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm broke now.
Go ahead.
I'm still trying to reopen it. Okay, listen, I'm not going with Jazz. I'm not. I'm going to go with over Charlotte, Washington.
Oh.
Over.
All
Over.
right.
Over 227.5. Over. Any questions?
227.5, he's going. Jazz hands and all, he's still going. All right, so talk to us here. Talk to us, Ski. Where are you going? Best bets tonight?
I'm interested to see where that Utah number, if it's going to move or how much it moves. But right now, I'll go with Atlanta. I don't really trust Philly to cover the number on the road, and I'll trust Atlanta to keep it within 7.
Nice. I like that. I'm also fading Buddy Hield tonight. 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I just think it's too long a stretch here, man. He was kind of nowhere MIA there last night. I don't see how it's going to get any easier for him tonight against that defense, against that team. So I think 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists is a gift, along with the Colin Sexton guys over 1.5 3-pointers. I would definitely grab that play also. And as we look here, it's so. Tony, where are you going with the over on Charlotte, Washington? Where are you going? Over?
Where am I going?
Yeah, where are you going with your best?
I'm going to go crazy. You want to go long too? Because you asked me again. Over. Damn it. Any questions?
So should I go Jazz? What do you think? All right, we'll go
No,
Jazz. I'll tell you what. We're going to go Jazz. We're going Jazz, and we're going to take the 14 points here now at GS, man. Do not trust the Celtics. Sorry. Don't trust them. I'm going GS, and I'm going first half Clippers. Lay the 8 points, guys. I think they're going to come out swinging against the Sacramento Kings, and then, of course, I'll correlate that with the fading Buddy Hield there on the prop market. Any questions there, Tony Finn? Jazz hands?
No, none. What? One more time, so everyone has this ticket, so they can make some money tonight. What is it again?
Yes. As a matter of fact, let's go to the chat room for the Shits and Giggles chat room ticket here today. Let's see what we got. I am seeing, where's our boys? I got, how about the Jazz first half under from Justin? We've got, don't mind that. We do have a lot of Atlanta fan. Anybody interested in backing Atlanta tonight? Anybody? Nobody?
No.
Yep.
I am. I definitely am.
Are you really? Yeah. You like Atlanta? Yeah. You're backing Atlanta over there?
Ski pointed to it as well.
All right.
A little bit.
And
I did too.
Boston love, too, here. So we're getting a lot of Boston love as well. Tatum is back in from what we understand. Thank you, Nathan, for that. So, and Raptors first half, which also isn't a bad play. 5.5 points. Don't mind the Raptors in the first half either. 702 Sports, the Shits and Giggles parlay from the chat room. We're going Atlanta money line, Washington under, Utah, Denver under. Book it, man. Book it. Come back here tomorrow. We'll rip them apart. We'll make fun of it, and we'll have a good time doing it. But honestly, guys, Planked Woodwork, thank you guys very much, by the way. Also backing Boston in the first half. You guys rule. Thank you very much. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but I do want to remind you, WagerTalk.com for Ski and Tony. Plays are up, ready to rock. And, of course, Rob over at SportsMemo.com, guys. Get over there. Get it going. May the winners be yours. Whatever it is that you decide to play, come back in tomorrow. We'll break them all down. So, guys, good luck to you, man. Thanks for your patience, except for you, Tony.
I got a Super Bowl prop. Free Super Bowl prop tomorrow.
What do you got? There. What did you?
Yeah, how about rather than basketball tomorrow? Oh, it's Friday tomorrow. Friday. We'll give a Super Bowl prop out instead of a basketball prop.
Really?
I will. I'll give you a prop. Yeah, it's a prop.
Is it a Gatorade prop? Like what color? Like how are you going to do it? No.
It's a shirt and a hat and a nose. That kind of prop. No, I got a prop. 25-1. You'll like 25-1 winner.
Yeah, I got a prop.
25-1.
Be good, guys. We'll talk to you. Shut up, Tony. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Good luck. We'll go back to typing.
Power to lesbians.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. God damn it. God. Shut up. You got soft skin. Shut